Monmouth College Fighting Scots football coach Chad Braun. Coach, how you doing, my man?
Doing good, Sean.
You ready to get this thing kicked off?
Yeah, let's get going. It seems like a blur. You know, we reported, I think, August 9th, and here we are. It's game week. I mean, it just flew by as usual, and hard to believe we're into game week now.
We'll talk a little bit about last year. Ended it with a nice bowl win, first bowl ever, the inaugural bowl, and got a win in it.
Yeah, you know, that was a great experience for our, seniors. Good way to send those guys out, and neat experience, obviously, with the snow coming down in pregame and just getting to experience that. And, our guys from Florida, probably the first time ever seeing snow. So that was kind of a neat experience for them. And then, obviously we came out and we played a great ball game. And, it just gives you a lot of positivity going into – the off season when you win your last game, a lot of momentum, and we've carried that over, had a great off season, and then carried it over into this preseason.
Yeah, how'd the off season go?
Yeah, really, really good. A lot of veteran leadership coming back. We mentioned we have a ton of fifth year guys coming back, and when you have that much leadership, it makes my job a little bit easier. Because they're leading from the front, and all the best teams I've ever coached are player-led teams, and we have great player leadership, and they've done a great job this offseason, and then bringing it into the preseason camp. Had a great camp so far.
I got a chance to listen to you speak at the Rotary Club meeting last Monday, and you were mentioning the names coming back, and I hadn't really delved into it yet, been kind of soaked up with the high school stuff, and then you started naming off names that guys you had coming back. I was like, oh, holy cow. That's a lot of good names coming back.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we just did a YMCA football clinic the other day, for the youth in town here, and I said, hey, all conference guys pop up here, and I introduced them, and I had to introduce 10 guys.
Well, that's a tough problem.
Yeah. I was like, holy cow, So it's nice when you got that many guys coming back that are not only good human beings, more importantly, but good football players. It makes things pretty fun around our campus.
It's important for you to get the guys out into the public, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, last year, they always enjoy going to the YMCA and working with the kids and have a great time, and that's important. And last year, we went down to Warren Achievement. I remember Jake Urez and Carter Boyer, a few other guys went down there and really enjoyed their time down there last year too. So I think that'll be an annual thing that we do too. So yeah, it's important for our guys, and we did the spring cleanup this year and cleaned up some yards for people. And that stuff's important. I always tell our guys, when you go out and serve, you become a better teammate. You learn how to serve each other better. And that's super important.
How's the last couple of weeks heading into week one went for you?
Yeah, really good. We had a joint practice with Augustana on the 19th. Went really, really well. Held a few guys out just for precautionary things. I think we're pretty healthy going into this game, which is rare coming out of camp. Usually have some nicks and dings, and I talked to our guys about it. I feel like every year we've gone up to Wartburg, seems like the last several we've been dinged up. Like we just have not been healthy. Some of our best players, like Thomas Lesniewski, I don't think he ever got to play up there. Lamar Watson, we missed some big time players when we went up there to play, and we have a real healthy group going up there this year, and a real veteran group. So it's an exciting time for us.
What's going to be in your mind? I know it's week one; it'll change by week 4 or 5. But what's the strengths you think going into this year?
Yeah, we return just veterans across the board. I mean, when you have that much experience coming back, 4 out of 5 on the offensive line, quarterback, tight end, 4 very good receivers. I don't want to exclude anybody that have all played significantly. On defense, 3 out of 4 on the defensive line. All 3 linebackers, 3 out of 4 in the secondary. So when you return that much experience, it just makes it, I think we're strong across the board. I mean, we have a lot of strengths. We got some things we got to clean up and work on. You always do coming out of camp, and we're going to find out how good we really are when you're playing the number 5 team in the country week 1. So, so there's some great 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 opportunity for us to go up there and compete with a very good football team, and we're excited for that opportunity.
I know the last several years we've talked about the great stable of running backs, not just one or two running backs, the good stable of running backs you've had. It's the last year or two has kind of shifted the receivers. You do have a good stable of receivers.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and obviously Nate Thornton coming back, being an all-region guy and having a great year for us last year, and obviously we graduated Jake, and he was a big part of our team last year. But Jackson Bergeron from United has really emerged, and he's had a great camp for us. I expect him to have a big year. Nick Obsaint, Brendan Bishop, those guys have been really, really solid for us. And then obviously Dylan Bone at tight end for us. And you return a veteran quarterback that started a bunch of games, and has won us a conference championship before, and so you feel good about things when you return your trigger man, and he's been in big games, and he knows what to expect come week one.
Got any maybe freshmen that might surprise you?
Yeah, I think you'll see some running backs jump out, play some. I don't want to give away names yet. We'll see how it emerges. Yeah. But yeah, we got some really good freshman group of running backs, and excited to cut those guys loose and get them some experience, and I think you're going to see some of those guys jump out at you. It's a good stable of young running backs. Obviously, return McCade Brooks. He's had a really good camp for us, and he's going to get his carries too. But we also like a young group of running backs that we have, and they're going to get some opportunity to play. Both on special teams and in game situations. So I would say those are probably the ones that have the most opportunity to make an impact early on, and then we'll see from there.
Yeah, and it's great. You named all the veteran guys you have. You don't have to throw those freshmen into the fire. They can learn a little bit, which has actually been kind of what we've had the last several years.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we've started a freshman offensive lineman, for the last several years, and I'm not sure that's going to be the case week one. So it could happen. We got one guy that or a couple guys that are competing pretty well, but when we return 4 out of 5 veterans, and you got some veteran backup guys that have played some time too. So it's a good spot to be in for our football team. We're really, really veteran across the board, and guys that have played a lot of games and have a lot of experience, and so it should be fun week one.
With 9 conference games, you only get a chance to put 1 non-conference game in there, and of course you like to be tested, and boy, you're going to be, and you have been with the Wartburg Knights.
Yeah, for sure. The last several years we've played up there, we've not even been competitive. I think of when we were up there in 21, I think it was 44-3 or something like that, and they had a 30-point second quarter, and we were just shell shocked. Now, that was a young group. We were coming off COVID, and we had a bunch of guys starting for the first time. I don't expect this group to get shell-shocked. I think this group would be able to handle anything that, we're thrown at, and I think we're going to make it a super competitive game.
Yeah, last year, of course, it was our first night game at April's Own Memorial Stadium, and got all kinds of delayed with the lightning and stuff. But I thought we represented ourselves very well, at least in the first half, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 3-0 at half. Yeah. We were right in the ball game, and then obviously a bad third quarter kind of doomed us there.
It was like 2 a.m. by then.
Yeah, so. Yeah, they had to deal with it too. They probably had to deal with it. They had a long trip, so we just didn't play a very good third quarter, and hopefully we can make the corrections that from the mistakes we made in the third quarter, and turn some of those things around in this matchup.
What are you looking at with Wartburg as far as, of course, it's week one. It's hard to tell, but what's normally their strengths?
Yeah, they're always going to be a physical football team. Like they love to establish the run. Their running backs really, really good. Their offensive line's always really good. And then defensively, they play a defense that we don't see all year. It's super unique to go against their defense, and it's the only time we're going to see it all year. So it's a great presents a great challenge. And they're physical, and the thing about Wartburg, they're super well coached. They're always going to be well coached. They're going to be in the right spot. They're going to play extremely hard. They run to the football. That's the one thing that you watch them defensively. All 11 guys get to the football every play. They play with tremendous effort, and we got to find a way to match that effort.
What are you looking for? It's non-conference. It's a tough opponent. What you're more worried about your ball club at this point? What do you want to see Friday or Saturday night?
Yeah, I mean, I want, we always want to see us be a physical football team, and we're going to face a physical football team. So we're going to find out how physical we are right off the bat. I always say week one it's never about. Usually, the one team does not win the football game; it's the other team loses the football game. And so we got to be. One of the things that we've been, that Wartburg's done a tremendous job. They blocked a lot of punts against us in the past years, and so we got to be really sound in the kicking game. And then last year, you look at that third quarter, I think they averaged something like 30 yards a punt return. And so not only do we have to be great in our protection, we got to be great in our coverage. So that's going to be a big factor. Special teams early on in the year, that's always a big factor. And then, obviously we got to take care of the football. We can't give them multiple opportunities, extra opportunities with the football. We got to take care of the football, and then we got to be fortunate enough to come up with some turnovers and give our offense some extra opportunities.
All right, Coach. Good luck. Go get them. Always a tough one out of the gate. The Wartburg Knights. Boy, that'd be a good one to get right out of the gate, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we're excited for the challenge. We're excited to go up there, play a night game, and get after it, and see what happens. So we're excited. We're ready to go.
All right, have a safe trip. We'll see you next. We'll talk about it next week.
Sounds good, Sean. Thanks.
Head coach Chad Braun with the Monmouth College Fighting Scots football team.